In the shadowy realm of Minecraft, where blocks and pixels create an endless world of possibilities, there exists a chilling tale known only as the Red Mist. This malevolent force, an enigmatic fog of scarlet darkness, was a harbinger of doom to those who dared cross its path. And one fateful day, Steve, the game's ever-resilient protagonist, found himself drawn into its malevolent embrace. It all began when Steve stumbled upon a forsaken village deep within the game's sprawling landscape. The village was unlike any he had ever seen before, a desolate and eerie place with buildings that seemed to sag under the weight of despair. Abandoned for countless Minecraft days, it had succumbed to the ravages of time, leaving only the ghostly remnants of what once was. As Steve cautiously explored the village, he noticed that something was amiss. The air was thick with an unnatural haze, a suffocating crimson mist that clung to every corner and crevice. The village's eerie silence was punctuated only by the faintest of whispers, as if the very souls of its former inhabitants were crying out in despair. In the distance, Steve caught sight of a figure shrouded in crimson, a humanoid silhouette that seemed to materialize from the very mist itself. The figure's eyes glowed like two fiery coals, casting an eerie, otherworldly light. It was the Red Mist, the embodiment of malevolence, and it beckoned to Steve with a silent, sinister promise. Fear gripped Steve's heart as he realized the village was no ordinary place. It was a prison, a realm trapped between the dimensions of the game. The Red Mist had claimed this forsaken village as its domain, and it hungered for the souls of those who dared to wander into its grasp. As the Red Mist drew nearer, Steve felt a cold dread wash over him. The crimson fog seemed to seep into his very soul, filling him with an unrelenting terror. He knew that he had to stand and fight, for the fate of both the village and himself depended on it. Drawing his trusty diamond sword, Steve squared off against the malevolent force. The battle that ensued was a relentless struggle between good and evil, a clash of wills that shook the very foundations of the Minecraft world. The Red Mist conjured nightmarish creatures to do its bidding, zombies with hollow eyes, skeletal archers, and spiders with venomous fangs. But Steve fought valiantly, his every swing and strike fueled by an unyielding determination to rid the village of this unspeakable horror. As the battle raged on, Steve's resolve was tested to its limits. The Red Mist whispered dark thoughts into his mind, tempting him with promises of power and immortality. But Steve knew that such promises were nothing but illusions, and he pressed on, determined to banish the Red Mist from this cursed place. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Steve delivered a final, decisive blow. The Red Mist let out a deafening scream, its crimson form writhing in agony before dissipating into nothingness. The village, once shrouded in despair, was bathed in the warm golden light of day. Exhausted but victorious, Steve watched as the village began to transform before his eyes. The buildings, once decrepit and crumbling, were restored to their former glory. The whispers of despair were replaced with the joyful laughter of villagers who had long been imprisoned by the Red Mist. With a sense of accomplishment, Steve knew that he had cleansed this forsaken place of its malevolent curse. The village, once abandoned and lost to time, had been given a new lease on life, but as Steve turned to leave,